Hey guys, welcome back to the CulePodcast. Welcome back to another video. On today's video, guys, we're going to be talking a little bit more about Barcelona's amazing 7-0 victory over Real Valladolid. And then as well, we're going to be talking about some potential concerns in regards to Deco because there were reports discussing his continuity with the club. And lastly, talking about Nico Williams, as Nico Williams does not close the door to a potential exit from Athletic Club in the future. But guys, before I get started on the video, make sure to follow me on all my social media platforms. Everything is posted down below in the description. Go over there and check me out. That way you're going to stay up to date with everything that I do on the video, with everything that I do on the channel. But guys, let's get straight and get started with the video. All right, guys, let's get straight into the video. And before we get started, we talk about the amazing performances from certain players in last night's performance. I want to talk first about Hansi Flick, guys, because Hansi Flick, he came in a terminus Barcelona, and just straight away he's gotten working the team. He's managed to transform the team, and already you're already seeing the Barcelona we all want to see and we all expect. In the 4 opening matches of La Liga, he's gotten 4 wins, 13 goals scored, 10 plus goal difference, and all of this is while having multiple players injured. You have your Pedris, no, not your Pedris. You have your Gavis, your Frankie De Jong, your starting center back duo in Christensen and Araujo, and as well no Ansu Fati. And in these 4 matches that Hansi Flick has won, it's been against tough opposition, tough away trips to Rayo Vallecano and Valencia, and he's also played against Athletic Club and Real Valladolid, 2 teams who can make things difficult for you. Valladolid, with that low block, not allowing Barcelona any chances, and then Athletic Club with the high intensity and the high pressure that they do often submit other teams to. And in these 4 games, Barcelona, even though, for example, the scoreline may have been 2-1 at times, Barcelona, they have been dominant in these games. And that's something that has changed from, Xavi's era as coach. And I'm not going to bash Xavi because Xavi, he built the foundation for Barcelona to be in this situation. He gave the debut to numerous players such as Pau Cubarsi, to Fermin, to Lamine Yamal. And he even, brought in Jules Koundé, brought in Lewandowski. And so, I'm not going to bash Xavi. I've always been firm in my thoughts in regards to Xavi, as that he was never going to be the manager to take Barcelona to the elite level. He was always going to be that manager before the big man. But we thank Xavi for all that work, and Hansi Flick. It just shows the quality that he has as a coach. And a stat that's also interesting that I wanted to bring to you guys is that Barcelona, whenever they've started a league season winning their first 4 matches, in 9 of the occasions Barcelona, they've won the league. And so 9 out of the past 11 seasons in which Barcelona, they've won their first 4 games, they have managed to win La Liga. And so this is bodes very well for Barcelona, and things are going very well. It's unfortunate that the international break is coming, and it's going to basically stop Barcelona's momentum. And hopefully Barcelona, they don't pick up more injuries in the international break. Hopefully they do respect us, and Barcelona, they are able to come back firing on all cylinders and continue these performances. But now, guys, I want to be talking about Lamine Yamal, a player who had an absolutely fantastic performance, just like so many others. Because Lamine Yamal right now, guys, it's absolutely insane that he's 17 years old and he's already having a level of consistency that is up there with the best in the world. I want to show you this graphic that ESPN showed right here. But this is Lamine Yamal's in the last 16 games for both club and country, and he has won every single one of them, scoring 3 goals and having 11 assists, 8 goal contributions in having goal contributions in 8 straight games. And looking at his contributions. He has 2 assists versus Northern Ireland and an assist versus Croatia. He didn't score or assist against Italy. He had an assist versus Georgia, had an assist versus Germany, scored that world-class goal against France, assisted in the Euro final against England, and then with Barcelona, he's got an assist versus Valencia, a goal against Athletic Club, and 3 assists with between both games in between Rayo Vallecano and Real Valladolid. And, he's just an absolute monster. And Lamine Yamal was already amazing last season, and he's taking that to the next level. Barcelona, they have to be so careful in taking care of Lamine Yamal, a player who, if he is able to be fit and is able to, to not have any long-term injuries, could be an absolute superstar and a generational player. It's absolutely amazing what Lamine Yamal is doing at such a young age. And another player that we have to give props, a player who has never given up, despite all the criticism from Barcelona fans and criticism from me as well. Saying that potentially Raphinha isn't good enough. Raphinha has completely, shut down a lot of haters, and he is growing in the Barcelona fan base. And a stat that I wanted to bring you guys is that Neymar and Raphinha are the only Brazilians to have a hat trick and an assist in a single La Liga game for Barcelona in the past 100 years. I saw that. I saw that tweet, and I was like saying, "My God, what a sentence to be in." Both like Neymar is viewed as a world-class player at Barcelona, and some people even say a legend. And for Rafinha to be, considered in that bracket, it's absolutely fantastic, fantastic. One achievement for him, and he's right now averaging a 0.88 GA per 90 minutes for Barcelona. He has 23 goals and 28 assists in 5,235 minutes for the club. And that's, bro, looking at the stats, he's so effective. And he's one of Barcelona's actually better players and better goal scorers. And last season, I would say he did go through ups and downs, of course, but that later half of the season where he was able to turn up against PSG and in those big games, that effort, it basically showed how much that he cared for the club. And Rafinha, man, this is going to be an absolute vital and huge season for him, and hopefully he is able to continue this form and just, for example, become a successful player at the club, and basically become a fan favorite as well. But now, guys, I also want to be talking about Lewandowski, because Lewandowski under Hansi Flick, he has a breath of fresh air. He's basically coming to life. And in his first opening four matches right now, he has 4 goals and 1 assist. Robert Lewandowski, he looks sharper, he looks better, he knows when to press. And I think that's also some of Hansi Flick's coaching, for example, understanding now, Lewandowski isn't just going to be pressing by himself. He also has Raphinha, he has Lamine Yamal pressing together. Dani Olmo as well, in right behind him. And when he does have runners, when he does have options, and he isn't left isolated, Robert Lewandowski is able to show his best form. And right now, Hansi Flick, he does plan to keep him as fresh as possible. He yesterday Lewandowski was substituted roughly around, I would say, the 70th minute mark, right there. But that's all in an effort to keep Robert Lewandowski fresh, and I like that. Robert Lewandowski is gaining there up in age. He's already, a veteran, and if we best out of Robert Lewandowski, we do want to limit his minutes, and we want to play him in those important matches. Let's give chances to Pau Victor. Let's give chances to Ferran Torres and even Ansu Fati, who Hansi Flick wants to play as a number 9. But it's very good to see that already Hansi Flick's man management is so good. I did have a complaint though that potentially why did Lamine Yamal have to play the 90 minutes yesterday, knowing that he was going to go off with the Spanish national team. That's something that I didn't like. But I trust Hansi Flick. If he wants, for example, to give rest to Robert Lewandowski instead of Lamine Yamal, then I'm all for it. But Hansi Flick, his first 4 opening games for Barcelona have been absolutely immaculate. And of course, there's going to be bad times. There's going to be moments where we criticize Hansi Flick and we say, "Hey, this team is not working," or this team is underperforming. But looking at what Hansi Flick has already been able to do, I put faith that Hansi Flick will be able to have a successful season for Barcelona. We always have to temper our expectations, because it is a long season, and there's still obstacles and big challenges left ahead. But also, guys, lastly, before we talk about Deco, we talk about Nico Williams, I want to give a congratulations to Sergio Dominguez for making his first team debut in yesterday's match. And in his first opening minutes, in which he was able to come out onto the pitch, he basically had a couple good touches and then like 2 turns, which were just exuded confidence. And that's one of the things I've noticed also under Hansi Flick, is that regardless of who comes in, the transition is seamless. For example, Marc Bernal injured, comes in Marc Gasol, you barely even notice Marc Bernal. Pau Cubarsi substituted off, you bring on Sergio Dominguez, and you barely notice the absence of Pau Cubarsi. That's something that you also have to give props to Hansi Flick. Telling the players that, hey, when you do come out on the pitch, this is what you have to do, and that's just good coaching. And Hansi Flick, I'm so happy with the work that he's doing, and you know, also as well, congratulations to Sergio Dominguez. But now, guys, I'm going to be talking about Deco because there were some reports from Sport earlier today that basically said that Deco, his continuity at the club, was up in the air, and Deco even considered leaving Barcelona. He was disappointed with the conditions working at the club, the lack of basically financial power that the club has at the moment. He feels that he doesn't have the weapons to convince the players. For example, as Guler, he went to Madrid. Berval, he went to Tottenham. He just didn't feel that he had the means to compete with them. And in that interview with Sport, when that basically report from Sport, Deco, he viewed himself as the poor sporting director in Europe, and with the financial restrictions that Barcelona do have, it does make sense. But Barcelona, they immediately came out with an official statement, and they said this in regards, to that report from Sport. FC Barcelona categorically denies the news that appeared this September the 1st in the digital version of Diario Sport, putting in doubt the continuity of our director of football. In response to the piece titled Deco, disappointed, meditating his future, FC Barcelona states that it could not be happier with the job being done by Deco and refutes this attack by Diario Sport on the director of football precisely at the end of the transfer window. Now, I obviously, reading that report from Sport, it could be understandable why Deco is frustrated, just not being able to sign the players that he does want, and everything like that. But obviously, Barcelona, they are going to become more financially stable as time goes on. Hopefully, by the end of December, we reach the January transfer window, Barcelona, they are able to go to the 1-to-1 rule, and then when we do have reinforcements, then I potentially things will get easier for Deco. But I've been a critic of Deco. I don't think his time at Barcelona has been perfect. He has made a lot of mistakes, and at times I'm thinking, hey, Deco, are you even the man for the job? But he has made a good signing in Dani Olmo. Although I feel we have paid a little bit over what he's worth, but I think that's something that we're going to forget really quickly looking at the performances that Dani Olmo does put in onto the pitch. But Deco set to continue at Barcelona. Those rumors in regards to Sport are false, as Barcelona, they denied them. And the last thing I did want to talk to you guys about is in regards to Nico Williams, because Nico Williams, he does not close the door to a potential exit from Athletic Club, and this is very, very interesting because he did give an interview to Dans, and he said this in regards to that. My heart is with Athletic, but nobody knows what will happen in the future. Have I considered leaving? It's always good when big teams have you on their agenda. I've always been clear that I wanted to be at Athletic, a feeling that you don't get at other clubs. Has there been anything real? It's something from my agent. There were approaches from other clubs. One of the reasons for staying was to play in Europe with Athletic. Now, that was super interesting because in the first statement, he says, my heart is with Athletic, but nobody knows what will happen in the future. That statement right there, you leave the door open. If, for example, you're asked, hey, do you want to stay to have a super long career and become a legend at Athletic? You say yes. My heart is all with Athletic, and I am not thinking about leaving the club. But because he says nobody knows what will happen in the future, he leaves the door open. He never says no. And everything like that. He doesn't reject the advances from the other team. And continuing on, he says, once I landed in Bilbao from vacation, I had a chat with my parents and my brother. And there I decided that the best thing was to stay here for one more year. We have communicated to the club and everyone was happy. But the thing is, why do you say to stay here for one more year? Instead, you say stay here, because you say stay here and that indicates that you're going to be staying here long term. You say stay here for one more year and that indicates that you're only going to be here for one more year. And we obviously know that Nico Williams, he wanted to play in Europe with Athletic Club, playing the Europa League as the final is going to be in the San Mamés. But the thing is, how realistic are your chances of getting to that final? And of course, Barcelona's project is infinitely better than that of Athletic Clubs. After all, especially looking at the performances that Barcelona are they're putting in, looking at how your best friends they're doing so well and they're so happy at Barcelona. Wouldn't you want to join in on the party as well? And as well, this is after Athletic Club they have lost to Atletico Madrid in La Liga, and already it's not looking good for Athletic Club. Barcelona they're just it's a different stature. Comparing the two clubs, and when Barcelona they come knocking, it's an offer that you can't really reject. But Nico Williams, looking at how Barcelona they're having fun on the the other side of Spain, they do not close the door on a potential exit. And if his release clause is the same, 58 million euros, then that's an offer that Barcelona can potentially return to. But if he does negotiate, if he does renew his contract, and that release clause is increased to 180 or anything in that range, then I do believe that he puts himself, out of Barcelona's reach. But guys, that was it for the Barcelona news of the day. Definitely let me know your guys' thoughts on everything that I discussed on today's video. Barcelona, amazing performance in that 7-0 victory against Real Valladolid. And as well, what do you guys make of Deco potentially leaving the club, but Barcelona denying officially those rumors? And then lastly, Nico Williams leaving the door open to a Barcelona, to an Athletic Club exit. But guys, that was it for the video. Thank you guys all for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. And see you guys all on the next video. Peace out, guys.